Nigeria has a petrol problem. Is Dangote's refinery going to fix it? Let's talk about it. With the current state of the economy in Nigeria, you might say that the country is on its way to an economic crisis if it's not already dealing with one. From the fluctuation in petrol prices to the long queues in various petrol stations, it's safe to say that the petroleum sector is in a state of chaos. But then comes the knight in shining armor, Nigeria's single largest local investment, Dangote's refinery. The refinery supposedly has all the capacity to meet Nigeria's needs of petrol, diesel, aviation fuel, kerosene, and even have enough to export. Expected to save around $10 billion and contribute 2.5% of GDP to Nigeria, both in terms of direct inputs and the rollover effects that it will have on the supply chain. But can this Moses really liberate the Israelites? And is there a Pharaoh standing in its way? Well, that's what we're here to talk about today. To understand the situation, let's take a step back and understand how we got here. And we'll start with fuel subsidy. So in the 70s, as a way to shield the citizens of the country from the increase in world energy prices, the government introduced the Price Control Act in 1977, which was supposed to make it illegal to sell products like petrol above a certain price. And then the difference is subsidized by the government. But where was this money going to come from? Taxpayers' money, of course. Now here's a good example to break it down. So think about a child that wants to buy a pair of sneakers, and maybe he's supposed to buy a pair of sneakers every year for school. But given the new price of sneakers, he's unable to, he doesn't have enough money maybe saved up from his allowances. So his dad decides to help him out, pay some of it, and the child pays the rest. But the challenge here is that the dad is funding this from a fund that he's put aside for his child's school fees. So every year, the child outgrows the shoes, he has to buy new ones, funded from this school fees fund. And of course the child is growing, so each time the shoes get bigger and more expensive, putting a lot more strain on this fund, making it difficult to pay for the shoes and even pay for the school fees that the fund was initially meant for. So I'm sure you get it. In this analogy, the child is the citizens of the country and the government is the father, who is using taxpayers' money for this subsidy. Taxpayers' money that's supposed to be used for infrastructure, education, and just general development of the economy. But given the current state of fluctuating exchange rates and then the government policies that are affecting the economy, something needs to be done. Nigeria currently exports most, if not all, of its crude oil and imports the refined product back, obviously at a markup from whoever they're importing from. And the difference is paid by the government, putting a strain on the foreign reserves. The current president, President Tinubu, supposedly eradicated the fuel subsidy, and this has caused the price to skyrocket in the 1 year he has been in charge. At a high landing cost of around 1,120 naira per litre, the price of petrol has put a strain on the economy and the citizens of the country. And this is compared to 140 naira that used to be sold maybe like 4 years ago. But wait, it might actually shock you that Nigeria has one of the lowest prices of petrol in the world. It's crazy. But the real story comes out when you take a look at what this price is compared to the minimum wage of the people that are supposed to be buying this product. Here's a look at the graph, and I'm sure this gives a better picture of why there's so much outrage. Clearly, we can see that there's a lot more going on than just the price of petrol. But the economy of Nigeria is a big story on its own for another time. But now we have the Dangote Refinery, here to locally refine and sell to the markets. Quick caveat, this isn't the only refinery in Nigeria though. There's the Petrol Refinery, there's the Warri Refinery, Kaduna Refinery. And not to bore you with too much details, I'll just put up the tech specs on the screen so you can see everything. So that tells us first of all that an actual refinery is not the challenge in Nigeria. Now Dangote's refinery has come upstream, but not without its challenges. For example, there's been complaints about the quality of the product. But Dangote has been exporting a lot of his products with no complaints from foreign off-takers, so maybe there's more to that there. There's the issue with local supply of crude, where the refinery hasn't been able to get enough supply for its production. But now the latest news is that local marketers are supposedly boycotting Dangote's petrol because it is too cheap. The claim is that the new prices are disrupting the markets, and it seems like there's a whole lot at play here. Now caveat, I'm not here to tell you the underground deep stories. I'm just here to explain to you that there's more to it than meets the eye. From the look of things, Dangote's refinery has two major problems: supply and price. For supply, the NNPC doesn't have a lot to supply, and the IOCs are already contracted to off-takers. And then for price, this is another problem because he's not expecting to latch onto the fuel subsidy, which is supposed to be gone already. And so he's going to sell at full price. What does full price mean? That's determined by the markets, the price of crude oil, his cost of production, and many other factors. So now what can be the solution? Well, with the challenge of local marketers not wanting to buy his products because of disruption of the market, some people on the internet are saying that Dangote should just go into the downstream business, set up his own fueling stations, for example, and sell from there. And then this would definitely disrupt the market and everyone finds a balance and everything plays out. Is he going to actually do this, or are there reasons stopping him? Is this strategy actually going to work? And what's the real hope for the basic Nigerian that's just trying to live his life? So crazy stuff. Just after I finished recording this video, I saw a post that NNPC is going to buy petrol from Dangote's refinery and then sell to marketers and retailers. But then people could buy diesel from him directly. It's crazy. Why is NNPC being the middleman? Why can't Dangote just sell to the marketers? Or better still, why can't he just have his own filling stations and sell to the public? That makes it cheaper for the citizens, doesn't it? I don't have all the answers. If you do, let me know in the comments what you think. I personally bought 40,000 naira worth of petrol, and that took me to half a tank for a tank that I used to fill up with 7,000 naira just about 4 years ago. It's crazy out there, but thanks a lot for watching. I asked some of my friends who are working in the oil and gas industry what they wish they could tell themselves back in school, and that video is here, so you should check it out.